Hi, and welcome to Bob's Books. Today, before I go into the book I'm going to read, which is actually one of my favorite books, I'm going to talk a little bit about book sales. For small authors, book sales mean a lot. I mean, sometimes just to look and find out you sold 3 books for a month or for a week, makes you feel good. Like all your work hasn't just gone to waste. There are authors with a lot of really good books who get discouraged sometimes because they'll write. They put out their book, and people don't seem to find it. They don't seem to get. Don't give up if you're a writer. Keep putting your books out there. And if you're not a writer, if you just like to read books, give an independent author a chance. Someone who's self-published, read their stuff. If it's not good, you took a shot. But there are plenty of really good books out there. A lot of the big major publishers do so well with books because they have big departments and they go to bookstores and they have a lot of influence, but smaller authors, smaller publishers don't really have that chance sometimes. So we have to get the word out about our book the best we can. One way is through things like this. I have this show on YouTube, Bob's Books, and I have set it up. Within a couple of days, you should be able to do a search. You should be able to find Bob's Books on iTunes. And it's just an audio podcast, but the same thing. I'll talk about a book a little more in depth and maybe the author and read you some of the book. And then you can see if the book's for you. If it sounds halfway interesting, give it a shot. Go buy a digital copy for a couple of bucks. Sometimes these are really good books that just get passed over. One of my favorites today is by my friend Steve Morris. I like this. It's a book it's called Playing Havoc, and it's a book about when all the electronics stop. And you don't realize exactly how much we're dependent on that stuff, really. It happens on a small English island. And, you don't have water anymore because water pumps are powered by electricity. The water pumps go out, no water's pumped to your house. You don't get any more fresh water. How do you shower? How do you shave from that? How do you get haircuts if your car won't start, you can't go anywhere? How do you get groceries? Where are you going to get food from if there's no electricity, nothing like that? And it's interesting. His book goes into this. It happens on a small English island where these people have to work together to figure things out. So give his book a shot. Another one, it hasn't had as much exposure as I honestly think it should. It is one of my favorite books. I liked it just because of the topic because how many books have you seen where it's not some post-apocalyptic, this is the end of the world. It's modern times and just the electronics stop. And no one knows why or what happened because no one comes and explains that to you. You're just home at your house. It's written in the first person by a guy who's living through this. And, what do? You don't know what happened. You don't know. You just think maybe it's a power outage. It'll come back on, But it says on the book, what could you do? You wonder what you should do. So you should maybe give this book a shot. It's a good one. Some of my books, the sales aren't up as much, but I don't really promote as much as I probably should. I'm changing that now with the YouTube show and the podcast. And I'll get some of my books eventually. But, the same thing if you're a new writer, whether you go through a little publisher or you're self-published, help out other authors because you never know that you help them out. They'll turn around and help you out. I help other authors read their books. They'll share this video and stuff online. So if you see it, you like the video, you like the reading or the book, whether you get the book or not, share this video around. Someone else might like the book. Share it on Facebook. Let people know. Go watch Bob's Books. So help get the word out on some of these. So I'm going to read you a little bit of Playing Havoc. There's still, it's been a few days. They have no electricity, no nothing. These people still don't know what happened. With time on everyone's hands, there were rumors running riot in our community about what was actually going on with the world. Given recent events in our country, most of these centered on theories that a national network of coordinated terror plots had simultaneously brought down many jets, possibly into power stations, broadcasting centers, etc., so as to entirely cripple our communication infrastructure. Other less plausible theories speculated that the mainland had simply been invaded by some enemy power and that we were effectively now in a state of war. Needless to say that of all the people, Warren was having the biggest field day with all of this. it was right up his street, and he was making a good job of winding up just about everyone, particularly the youngsters. That wasn't helping the situation at all. We needed to think about the kids on the island who are beginning to have nightmares, and I decided to have a word with him about that. Who have we gone to war with then, Warren? Why? The commies. Who do you think? They've only been planning it since the last bloody war ended. We should have done them too when we had the chance. Instead, we let him go back home and develop atom bombs. Bah! He had an answer for everything, but his facts backing them up always seemed 30 years out of date. He'd had many rehearsals for these theories at his garden gate over the years. Well, the fact was that our electricity was still off, and it seemed that each and every battery-powered electronic device had also been somehow disabled. That went some way at least to explain why all the other basic services that must depend on electricity were out of action at the same time. It's a good book. I apologize for if I stuttered over some of this stuff, because it is written with a number of British mannerisms, and sometimes I stumble on it, but it is a brilliantly written book. If you read it about how they get along and how you have to change what you do and eat, and fantastic book. So let's take a little look at the cover and give Playing Havoc a shot.